I should be running from you, darling, now to kingdom come. Cause my mother told me as a child, boy, don't play around with fire, cause you might just end up getting burned. And I know the wicked never rest, so I always try my best. But there's some lessons hard for me to learn, like good boys don't play with bad girls. Good boys stay away from them bad girls, yeah. The good ones just can't get me high, so I'll be falling all my life for one of these bad girls. You bad girl, but you do me so good, bring around with fire.
What's that? Right, out here for the kayak adventure series tournament in Texas. It's got this big old pre-spawn female, 21 incher. There we go. Like that.
I'm giving up on settling down, getting out of this small town. Hang a sign, this heart is closed. I'ma hit the open road. I'm giving up on settling down, getting out of this small town. Hang a sign, this heart is closed. I'ma hit the open road. I'm giving up on settling down.
Come here. Yes, sir. Holy smokes. Yo. What's going on, everybody out there in the Kayak Adventure Series world? Kayak Fishing Land. What's up, Jake?
Nothing. I feel like I just saw you, but
It's
movie
well,
magic. Nobody will even know that there's been a
That's true.
7-hour break.
Yeah, that's true. We did a pre-recorded segment. So this is pretty cool, guys. We got a great show tonight. Lots of amazing guests. Two of our guests we did pre-record earlier through the it was the Greater Springfield Partnership, tourism partners of ours at the town of Springfield. So that actually ended up being a lot longer of an interview than we expected, and because it was a lot even better than we expected, even cooler. What's up, JT? What's up, Zach from Dark Horse Tackle? See you there, Metal Jones. You guys chime in, bring your questions, comments, but we are, because our tourism partner interview was a little bit longer than we expected, we're going to play that pre-recorded segment at the end of the show, because we had already had people lined up on a certain, time frame when they're supposed to pop in. So we don't want to push them back, at 25 minutes because of that. So we'll play that at the end. And that is honestly one of the coolest interviews that we've ever done. You guys want to definitely watch that one, because it gives you the whole lay of the land of the town, all the really cool stuff that's going on and that they are doing for us.
We were doing research on the fly too. So you get to see some information on some of the water that without any fishing bias behind it, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool. But anyway, this is your official Great Midwestivus Preview Show. And I'm excited. I'm so excited about this one. We had a big gap between preview shows because just the way things worked and other tournaments and things that were going on, just a big gap. But I actually like this, a couple months ahead of this event. It's perfect. Really gets everyone pumped up. And let's get right into this show. We're going to take you guys through just a rotation of different people that are going to be part of this event, including some of the local kayak dealers we're going to bring in. We're also going to bring in some of the anglers that can give us a little bit of a lay of the land. They're fishing this event too, so I don't know how much juice they're going to give up, but I definitely know they're going to share their insights on in a pretty good, it can at least get you in the right direction if you're not from the area, for sure. These are all really good guys that are willing to help people out and put them on some fish. And then we're going to bring in Hans from Bonafide. So we're going to have a quick little interview with him about the new cool stuff Bonafide's doing. So let's get right to it. We'll kick off with, I think Mark is already in here from Loveland Paddle Sports. We'll bring him on in and See how he's doing tonight. What's up, Mark?
Hey, Drew. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, the canoe guy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, been around a long time, so go back to those days when canoe was the vessel.
I know, right? Who would have thought things have changed so much and then it went to sit on top kayak, and now it's sit on top kayak with motors and all the electronics and all this stuff. But even still, the Kayak Adventure Series and this event particularly, and well, all the events, but this one really in particularly, you could still win it with just like that CK1 behind you, or even the new Smalley and a paddle and 2 rods and a tackle box. You can.
Yeah, that's what's great. I think you guys are doing a wonderful job of making this sport accessible and fun and getting a lot of people engaged. So it's been a lot of fun for us to evolve over the years. And Drew, if you remember, you and I met many, many moons ago, another dealer, and I saw your passion for the sport, very infectious. So we have a shop here in Loveland, Ohio, which is just outside of Cincinnati, and we're a bona fide and Crescent dealer. We're very blessed to be right here on the Little Miami River. So right now I'm looking out the back door. It's moving a little quicker than I like it, but we're literally about 25 yards from the river. So it's great because our customers that come here, if they want to try a boat out before they make a final decision, they have an opportunity to do that. So we're really excited about the invitation too, and happy to help in any way we can. I know you and I talked, Drew. We are opening up a new rental location a little bit further north in the Little Miami, in a town called South Lebanon, and that's going to be called River Dogs.
Perfect.
We'll sign back here.
I'll bring up River Dog. That's cool. I'll share the screen. So basically you're saying you guys are going to be able to do shuttles for the anglers at this event. If you need a shuttle in that section, right? I mean, then you guys got them taken care of, right?
Yeah. River Dogs is within the boundaries of the tournament. So we're to help. Again, it is at South Lebanon. I think the real nice trip from there is to go up to the confluence of the Todd's Fork and the Little Miami, and then paddle down.
Yeah, here we go.
South Lebanon. So it's a beautiful stretch of the river, very quiet, very peaceful, about 5 miles in length. So what I'm going to do too, Drew, is my wife will set up a link and I'll send it to you. So if somebody wants to use this as a shuttle service, if they just reserve, that way we make sure we have the capacity to move people and boats at a given time. So we'll do that, and we'll probably have some coffee and donuts at our shop, because we'll be open for regular rentals later in the day after the tournament gets launched.
Perfect. What I just realized, I think I forgot to put a downstream launch boundary on that river, which I did. Look, these are all of our pins for this event. Yeah. No one's asked me about that yet. I'm surprised. We need to get that done. See, it's a good thing we're doing these preview shows. So we need to we basically let the anglers go to the access that's an hour away from our host, which at this event, we did go a little bit further into some directions to get a couple extra lakes and bounds around Columbus. So we might go a little bit further than an hour. So wherever would be a little bit further than an hour, which I'm not going to try right now, but it could be somewhere around this bridge here. If that's a takeout, I don't know. But it looks like it is.
Well, that's the monkey bar you're looking at right there, but that bridge just below there is where our Loveland operation puts in. So the South Lebanon one is north.
Gotcha.
It's upstream. If you go upstream a little bit,
right?
Keep going upstream. You'll see the bend. All right. Not yet.
There's South Lebanon.
Yep.
So that'll be in bounds. I'm pretty sure that'll be in bounds. And actually, even the put in you're talking about for your outfitter will be okay to put people in, because the anglers are allowed to take out further down. It's not a hard boundary. It's not like they can't go beyond 22. They can go further down as well. So your whole outfitter is going to be in play for these anglers for sure. So that's exciting. And you guys carry, like you said, Crescent, Bonafide. Now, if someone was coming in, or if they just have limited space, do you guys have any demos or anything that anyone could rent? Or not yet?
We don't have a demo fleet for rental purposes. We do have demo boats that people are allowed to use beyond our shop. But if someone's really in a pinch, reach out to us. We'll do what we can.
Exactly. And you see, you're good friends with Dustin at Raccoon Creek, who actually sponsors our live streams there. You can see their logo up there. And I'm sure between you two, Ohio is blessed with amazing dealers between you two guys. Yeah. Everyone else.
Plus, I heard a little birdie told me Drew's got a lot of spare kayaks in his garage. So
I got a little bit too many right now. I got to figure some stuff out. So the new Smalley is a good problem to have. And then we're not going to hijack the show with the Smalley. This is the official, Great Midwestivus, which is presented by Bonafide as far as our kayak manufacturer goes. But definitely cool that new Smalley is out there and the world sees it now. I'm excited. You're going to have some in pretty soon, I'm sure. So
Oh yeah, I think we're due to come in Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So we're very
Perfect.
excited about that boat. I just sold an RVR today and a few other
Yeah.
boats. So RVR is such a great boat for this area.
It is.
Really, it fits these Southwest Ohio skinny rivers.
It is perfect.
So a lot of
Yeah.
success, and it's a great platform for sure.
It really is. It really is. So I definitely going to send people your direction for the shuttles, the outfitting, that if anything they need, you guys got it. You're the closest dealer. So give Mark a call over there at Loveland Paddle Sports. We've also got a lot of your pro staff guys, which we're about to bring in, Brad Hicks, Brian Parker. I don't think Matt's going to join us tonight, but there's several folks. I don't know who else is maybe coming on that might be working with you guys, but we're going to bring them in as well. And you can always reach out, guys. Anyone listening, watching this show, whether live or in the future, those are guys you can always reach out to. They can get you connected with Mark over there at Loveland. And if you need anything, you guys may very well have it. So don't be afraid to reach out.
And Drew, hey, I just want to thank my team. You mentioned some of the guys. Steve Baker's the other one. He's up in
Steve, yeah.
So they're tremendous people, as well as avid anglers, and they're just in the sport to help other people enjoy it. So even today, I had a question, and I needed to phone a friend about a bona fide question, and Matt's my resident expert. And I shot him a quick text. 2 minutes later, he's on the call with the customer, answered the question, and that's actually what kind of cemented the deal, because it was a question that was real important to the customer. So
yeah, that's
they
cool.
do a lot for the sport. They do a lot in Ohio. They all post, so you can see how they rig their boats, how they transport, what kind of rigs they have set up for tournaments. And again, we could not do this without them, so we're grateful to have them on the team.
Yeah, sounds good. And we're excited. I know it's the middle of your busy season. That's a busy weekend probably, but it sounds like if all things go well, we might be able to see you at the event, showing off a few boats, saying hey to some of the anglers. So if that works out, we're obviously, would be very grateful to see you guys there. But again, I know you got a business to run, so if it works out, cool. If not, we really appreciate you guys being there for the anglers in this area and representing Ohio and paddle sports so well. So thank you so much. All right. And we'll catch you, I guess, later. Thanks, man. See ya. All right. Good dude right there. I love Mark, man. He's such a good guy and been doing this a long time. So we're blessed to have him. You don't realize how blessed you are, and not to be morbid here, and bring something up that's a downer, but you just don't realize how blessed you are until sometimes things are gone. And we lost an incredible, paddle sports shop owner today. I heard about Dan Meir passing from the Clearwater Outfitters up in where our event on the upper Mississippi is going to be. And I've been talking with him, been excited about having it up there. Him and I talked from back in the Jackson kayak days about, let's do a big event up here. Let's do a big tournament. He did an annual tournament every year. And I know that community up there is probably mourning and has heard about his passing as well. Cancer, sadly, but
we
anyway,
had him on the show, didn't we?
We may have had Dan on the show.
Yeah,
I think we may have had him on because we did the preview for that one already.
Because we had to, we were clarifying because
That's
there's
right.
the Clearwater Outfitting, but the Clearwater Outfitters, and
Right.
the whole thing.
That's right. Dan was here. So I didn't even know he was kind of facing that battle. So I guess it took a turn for the worse and quickly. And I was just informed today about that. So prayers definitely are in thoughts for his family and the whole community up there. And like I said, let's don't take these local paddle sport shops for granted. One bit, not one bit, guys, because what those two guys do for this state and for all of us is just incredible. So appreciate it. We'll bring on I know I got guys in the queue as well, but we'll bring on let's see who's next here. I don't think I see Dustin or Hans yet. So we'll bring on Hans when we get a chance. But what we will do is bring on some anglers, just start chatting about some water that's into being bounds here. So let's bring on Brad Hicks, I guess. Well, he's there, but not there. So let's get him. Let's bring on Ryan Parker, who's a nice tie into Loveland. There you go, Ryan, and our AOI, rating AOI for the Kayak Adventure Series, and bring in Jason Isaacs as well. So,
What's up?
what's up, guys? How's it going tonight?
Pretty good.
Nice. Very nice. Excited about this event or what? I think this is going to be a big one.
Yeah, it's it's our backyard, so we know what's here, and it's, I think, kind of exciting because we know what's Jason's over there on my screen, but we know what's here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You guys know. So if you guys watching, obviously Ryan Parker, if you've been living under a rock and haven't followed the Kayak Adventure Series, then you may not know this, but I'll give you a proper intro. You are, like I said, the reigning AOI for Kayak Adventure Series. You just crushed it last year. You basically just put your head down and committed and obviously executed. And it was an amazing season. So congrats to you on that. And I know you've got a busier schedule this year, so not fishing as many.
Yeah.
So maybe leaving that door cracked, guys, leaving the door cracked for someone else. But I know you'll give it all you got at the maybe couple events you're going to be at. And so tell us real quick, which ones are you going to try to be at this year?
I'll be down in South Boston, and for sure Midwestivus. Some of my schedule's kind of up in the air. I'd love to make it to that upper Mississippi one, but I'm also, shorter drives. I'm looking at the 2 PA events.
Right.
So
yeah, that makes sense.
Well, you've already caught your giant smallmouth, so you don't need to go to Minnesota.
It's there now.
I know. I saw it. I was like, oh, he's rubbing it in, man.
I had to get that one replica. That was
no doubt. He's rubbing it in. It's that and the trophies. You're like. I mean, I know I've got some back here too.
I see,
So it's like, but I mean, like he's got them there. He's got the KS stuff dialed. But anyway, we appreciate you and always your insight. And it's definitely really, really cool talking to you every time. Jason over here, man, you've been, working the national trails for a while now. You and your dad both, much success on the Hobie BOS, the Bassmaster Kayak Series. You won Possum Kingdom on the Bassmaster Kayak Series last year, right?
I got lucky.
I don't know about that, man.
Found the magic dock, didn't you?
Hey,
it had 3 good ones on it anyway.
Yeah, I know what you're saying then away because you've told me the story about that event. But Lake Fork, I finished 10th the championship, and I feel like I got lucky because I know I wasn't on anything really that great in practice, and I just kind of had to fish the moment the day of and take a few risks and gambles. And I know you did the same thing, but it's not luck because it definitely takes some skill to be able to make those decisions on the water, on the fly that day. And it's just your experience and just your talent as an angler. So really excited to have you on the show. There's so many good anglers from Ohio. It's crazy. And I like the contrast between Jason and Ryan here. And we'll bring Brad in and some others, but you're really good, Jason, at all kinds of waters, but I think you're pretty, one of the better lake anglers that we have on the show tonight. So we're going to love to get your insight on some of the flat water options inbounds. But I know Ryan, you guys all know them well, but I'll be looking forward to seeing that and seeing how you feel about some of the lakes. But feel free to share what all you guys want, but obviously don't share too much.
I think me and you talked about it before. I think it was a really good decision to have it at the beginning of June. Yeah, because that'll give, in my opinion, it's a 50-50 shot between rivers and the lakes.
I agree.
Yeah.
If any later in the year, it would have definitely been heavier on the rivers and the creeks.
Yeah, the summer.
They just draw lakes down really, really early out here. It just makes them tough to fish, and of course they get beat up and they're not real big anyway. So it's that's what I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's. What do you think, Ryan? About
I agree too. And it's just that time of year where you're going to have pre-spawning and post-spawn fish. You're kind of running the whole thing depending on where you go. Looking at some of our lakes that are inbounds, like it can be largemouth, smallmouth, and a lot of them. Our rivers are predominantly smallmouth. Some of the ones on the list you can catch some largemouth out and decent ones out of, but most of that's going to be smallmouth and Kentucky spotted bass.
Gross. If everybody wants those, right?
Yeah, they do not get that big here.
They don't get that big anywhere, really.
Yeah.
Except for like
I caught a 19 up in Marion one time, a Kentucky spot.
Did you weigh it?
No. Actually, I was with Tarek Walker actually when I caught it. No,
All
I
right.
didn't weigh it. We were just fishing this rock quarry. It blew my mind that I caught one that big.
Yeah, that's the biggest one I've caught was 19 on 10 killer. And I think I want to say it did weigh. I think it was like 3 something.
I don't think I've cracked 15 on one of those things. I've got 14 3/4 all day long, but
dude, come to the Ozarks. I'm surprised you didn't catch one when you were at Ozarkana. I mean, they get
nothing big. I went way up the Black River there though, so I was like,
oh, they're not in the Black. That's why.
But yeah, here June, you've got all 3 phases of the spawn happening. The lakes are starting to get good with vegetation too, the ones that have it, which is
that is nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a very pick your poison, I think, type deal. Like you get to definitely work your strengths.
Well, and I think that's what's cool about the KS. It probably is a little bit, I don't know, stereotyped as a river and creek and sort of Drew Gregory. Obviously, I'm running that sort of series, but what that does is it really frees the lakes open to less angler pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like the lake anglers are just like sitting there like, where is everybody? There's no one here, you know? So it's great. That's all what we want to happen on a tournament day. We all dream of just having a spot to ourselves. And the Kayak Adventure Series format is definitely catered to hoping that happens, trying to make that happen for everybody because we don't want any tension, and we love for you guys to just be able to catch, as big a fish as possible. But so we'll see how that works out with the spawn. Now, do you guys think they're going to be spawning still at that point? Any fish anywhere?
There's a good chance. There's a good early.
Yeah, it's so weird here. Ohio's weird, man. You just never know.
Yeah.
I think there will
pools
be somewhere.
Might be spawning still. And then some of the rivers, just because we have so many dam systems that kind of control the flow and the temperature, it can really screw them up, and not screw them up, but it can delay things or, and so far it's been kind of a cold spring. So I know some of that water that's coming down in the rivers, it's going to stay a little cooler, a little bit longer, and stuff like that.
They spawn in a pretty big, like window as well. So it's not like they all happen at once. Even in Georgia, I'll never forget. I've caught fish in Georgia I didn't even think it was late May. Like it's on an episode of Hooked on Wild Waters. I can't remember, but it was like middle Georgia, late May. And I caught a fish off bed, like a 14-incher. But so that just goes to tell you, like it could be, if you do your research right, you find the right bodies of water with the right water temperatures, or if you keep an eye on the rivers and see if they stay really high and there's finally a chance when they get lower and clear, then that's when it's going to go down. But before we go any further, let me get you guys backstage, if you guys are cool with it. Bring Hans in from Bonafide because he's in the queue now. We'll knock out this short interview with him, and then we'll just talk pretty much fishing, and we'll pull up some maps, bring the rest of the anglers in here in a minute. So thanks, guys.
Yep.
All right, let's get Hans in. Let's see if this is him here. There he is. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
What's going on?
Hat.
Yeah, nice hat. Look at that.
Yeah.
Repping.
It's one of my favorite hats. Pulled it out. So
yeah, nice, man. Very nice. Well, this isn't your first time on the show. You know what the deal is. We're excited to have you guys on as a sponsor again. I mean, we even got Native this year. Somehow, last year was just Bonafide from Big Adventures, but somehow we were able to pull in the Native brand too, which is pretty exciting because we had that extra event. So that'll be our Susquehanna event. So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
And that's because it's teamed up with the Power Hour. But anyway, Hans, if you guys don't know Hans, again, same thing I said about Ryan Parker, man, living under a rock. One of the best in the business. You can say your exact title for Bonafide, but I'll just pretty much say, look, everything that's been designed that's been good has been Hans Designs. I don't know what the exact title over there is, but
that's pretty gracious, But my title is I say I'm head of design, but I'm doing design for Bonafide. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. The XTR, it seems to like it got buzz, and it just seems to be just carrying through. And I can't imagine it's not selling. I can't imagine it's not selling. Yeah.
So many XTRs at Lake Fork.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm amazed. I've been very amazed at just how many people have been just going to that boat and making it theirs. So just the different ways that it's being rigged, it's kind of it blows my mind as far as like how many different ideas are coming out for that. So it's been really cool to watch it happen.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, just so well thought out, and you've got so much surface area in space for people to do these things, just do whatever they want. So it's really cool. You can get up there and stand on that front. So that's a boat that I'm sure, whether it's Dustin from Raccoon Creek or Mark from Loveland, one of those guys has got to bring one there for people that want to just check it out, demo it. If you're not going to bring one yourself, I don't know if you're going to end up making it to that event. I know you were hoping to make it to one this year, but if you can, we'd love to have you, of course.
I really appreciate doing this with you guys, and I enjoy the supporting this event too. So I'm actually really excited. I think I'm going to be able to make it to this event, and if I do, I may bring an extra, like an XTR up there so that people can try it out.
Yeah.
And then also I'm going to try and make it to the Susquehanna event too.
You need redemption, right?
Yeah, I got exactly. we got to find. Hopefully, we won't be fishing in a hurricane for the next.
Hopefully not.
I was just watching some of those clips back when we were doing some highlight stuff, and the picture of you in front of the mudslide was just made me laugh.
Oh yeah, it's true. There's Robert Weicker saying his maiden voyage was today. It was unbelievable. So
awesome.
He put a power pole push on that, right, or whatever it's called.
He has the move on the front, and he has the twin. The full on
power poles.
Stakes on the back.
That's right. The blades. Yeah. Where'd you get that idea? Yeah, Robert. Yeah, Dustin. Where'd you guys get that idea? So anyway, but that's a cool setup. I actually told Dustin and Robert and everyone else when I put those on my boat, I said, look, it's really a setup that's probably much more suited for an XTR. It gets the job done, on my boat, but it's much more suited really for the size that the XTR is. And it is killer. Now, again, Hans, you're with me, and Jake, you are too. I know we are on the same page that realistically, in a perfect world, if tournaments didn't, require us to launch from certain places, like designated launches and all this stuff, I would love to just keep fishing with just a paddle. You know what I mean? Just simple, lightweight, just dragging it, paddle and a few rods. But there's nothing wrong with the coolest part of the kayak, I think, is the fact that it can go so far in either direction.
Yeah.
And that's what the Kayak Adventure Series is all about. Choose your own adventure. So if you want to use an XTR, awesome. Love it. Robert, Dustin, you guys, whoever else has them out there, we love it. That's awesome. If you want to throw a lightweight throw and go boat in there, a Scholey, RVR, whatever, the new smaller, we got something light and simple and small that's cool too. And I think both can fairly compete against each other. So anyway, but what else is up at before we let you go? Anything new or exciting going on? Obviously, you're not going to tell us anything new you're working on, but anything you want to share with us about the brand or what's happening at the Big Adventures HQ?
Yeah, HQ. Now, we've been working really hard, obviously, the past few years, and we've had a lot of stuff come out that we've been just trying to support. So, a lot of it is just trying to figure out what accessories we need to add to the XTR, and just supporting the boats that we have out there, as well as just creating more accessories and things. I'm always working on stuff. So, that's my standard answer, I guess.
Always. Well, the accessories is a good answer, because most in supporting the current boats, because that's the thing that I've noticed, and I've worked for, a couple kayak companies. I know you're in the industry, so you've seen this, you've worked for several. That's the thing that I've seen. We always are just it's the hardest thing for the kayak manufacturers to do is support the current boats, make little adjustments, make accessories for them that solve this or that. And we're just so excited. Let's get the next boat going, because that's our bread and butter. But really the support of the current boats is very, very critical. So that's really cool to hear you guys are doing that. And last thing I'll say too is, hey, if you get a chance, stick around, or at some point watch the end of this podcast where we play our pre-recorded interview with the tourism partners from Springfield, because you're going to love this town. You're going to love coming. You're going to be so excited about this event. And I don't know if you have considered bringing the family or not, but it'll be such a good event to possibly bring them to as well, with all the stuff that they have going on with their concert series, and the Journey cover band, and the Fleetwood Mac, and all the stuff they've got. They're getting music for it. The theater's great. The farmer's market in the morning that's right there that the family could go to while the anglers are out there fishing. We got a lot going for us in this town, this event. So it's going to be exciting. But
yeah, I think we're going to bring. I'm actually making it a family thing. We're going to come up and hang out, and then my wife's from Northern Ohio, so we're going to do that, and then head up to Northern Ohio after that. But I think the whole part of it's going to be great. They've got some stuff to do, and they're going to have to do a little bit of kayak shuttling and stuff for me.
Yeah.
At the event, so I'll make them work a little bit, But
yeah,
make
exactly.
it happen.
That's the way to do it, man. Get the significant others to do a little bit of a shuttle or pickups. If someone does want to test out that boat or any boats, whether you bring them or Raccoon Creek or Loveland, whoever, the best time, because our opening ceremonies at the brewery is not on the water, and neither is the theater downtown and the closing ceremony. So our Bass U brunch on that Friday morning is right on the water, and we're going to do some bring an RVR for sure.
Yeah.
Someone will have one, because I'm going to get myself, hopefully Jeff Little will make that one, and we're going to do some on the water similar, because they have a whitewater park there. They have Playway. We'll show them here in a minute.
Nice.
So we can actually.
And it should be warm enough that you could just, if you fall, you fall.
I'll do it right here. Yeah, I'll pull it up. It's right. It's literally.
It's like northwest of the town, basically. Like it's like right on the river.
I'll bring it up so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm in the wrong spot here. Here we go. Yeah, it's right here. And all it is this Buck Creek. It's hard to see on this particular satellite image, but you can see there's a beautiful rocks that everyone can sit on. They can watch. There's an actual. Yep, and that's where we're going to have our Bass U brunches right here at the museum, Springfield Museum of Art. But if you really want to do some whitewater stuff, you can go over here to the actual whitewater park. But
didn't even know they had that there.
Yeah,
apparently
awesome.
it's new.
Yep,
that is cool.
Whitewater in Ohio, guys. There's another spot in town too that's got some more man-made features they've done. So it's going to be fun. We're excited to see you there, man. And we're going to talk to some anglers about the fishing now. But we appreciate you guys for supporting us. And
we'll be giving away an RVR 119 there as well. So
perfect.
Yeah,
that will all go to the Autism Anglers, which is our nonprofit for this year, the charity. So appreciate the folks over there at the Autism Anglers, and we're excited. So it's going to be one of the biggest events. Everyone's telling me this is going to be one of the biggest events of the year, if not the biggest. So we're excited to have you guys there, and thanks for your time tonight.
Yeah, we'll see you there. And
right.
I'll probably get off. I guess I'll jump off, and then I'll get back on to watch for the end.
Yeah. It'll also stay up on YouTube forever after it's over, so you can just scrub to it whenever you want. So
sweet.
Yeah, man. All right. Thanks, Hans.
See you, bud. Good to see you guys.
All right. You too.
All right. Thanks.
Bye. Cool. Now let's roll into let's just bring the anglers back in. Just everybody all at once, even Dustin we'll just bring a big group of people in. If we need to pull ourselves out at times, we can. I got Brad Hicks in there here from the Catch Podcast. What's up, Brad?
How you doing?
Doing good, man. You ready to talk about some Great Midwestivus or what?
Yep. All my spots are up for sale. So
yeah, fish tips. Hey, dude,
I sold that Lake Fork spot for $100.
Did you end up selling it?
I did. He wouldn't stop bothering me. I was like, fine. And then he went there and caught them.
White bass. Someone paid $100 for a white bass spot.
He went to that spot and he sent me pictures. He took them all home.
Jeez. Well, I guess it was worth it. I guess. I mean, how much? $100 is a lot of fish you could have just bought at the store. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, if you kept all the ones that we were catching, you probably could have had $100 worth of white bass if you just kept going.
Yeah. Well, let's bring in. Obviously, we had Ryan on already. Bring Jason back in. Bring Billy. It's going to get a little bit. I'll try to address everybody individually, so there's not a bunch of talking over each other. And we'll go a little round table here, but and then we'll bring in the creek crawler. Let's see how many people we get on here at once, and Dustin too. So we're all in here. This is a wild
man. I'm a
Brady bunch, man.
I got to do my best Billy Kayaks impression here.
There you go.
That's awesome.
That's a good one.
Billy's very invested in the new look.
He does that anytime he has to get a driver's license photo. If you guys were wondering what the.
That's true. That's what happened. I grow the mustache
truth.
for the driver's license photo.
Yeah, it was just your birthday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I love it. Well, Billy, we love having you back on, man. You helped us kind of get this thing kicked off in season 1, and glad to have you back here. I know you're crushing it, doing some great stuff locally and taking care of the kids, the family, and that's obviously most important. So happy to have you back on the show and talk a little bit about the Ohio kayak fishing you guys got going on, and
Hopefully he's not in time lapse mode, right, Billy?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, remember, don't run your
Some
GoPro in
things.
time lapse. Yeah. We still gave you the GoPro. You still won
I do.
the GoPro.
Still have the GoPro.
Yeah. This year we actually changed it. We still need to make sure it's changed everywhere on the website. We're actually just doing a GoPro for the big bass. That's like, it makes it simple, easy. We don't have to try to figure out who has the biggest bass that was caught on GoPro, but maybe one day we'll go back to that. But lastly, and not least, well, actually there's two-person. Dustin's so dark I can barely see him. But Brian Slayton,
You in your truck, Dustin?
the creek crawler. Yeah, where's Dustin? Oh, there he goes.
What's up, guys?
The creek crawler. You guys should go follow the creek crawler for sure on his YouTube, Instagram. You are crushing it, making some cool content.
Thanks.
And you know those rivers really well, and the lakes, I'm sure. But I know you, obviously, the creek crawler, enjoy moving water. So we'll be excited to hear your thoughts on, how many rivers we have in play and
where to catch sand bass.
Yeah.
I don't have no sand bass spots that earn any gas money, but dude, I'm really stoked for this tournament because, as we've kind of discussed before, I believe really it could be won anywhere. I don't think it's going to be one specific place. I really think, the data shows it too. We've got a lot of tournaments here locally, and you can catch a mid-90s bag pretty much in most of the water that we're fishing.
Mhm.
So I'm very excited for that and the potential to see some big smallmouth, big largemouth. It's exciting. I'm stoked for it.
Yeah, I agree. Let's kick this off. Dustin, can you hear us? Are you there, buddy?
He's muted.
Yeah, I got you.
Cool. Are you at a good place? Do you want us to pull you out for a minute and bring you in
Looks
here?
like he's in a gas station.
I am at a gas station.
Dude.
How many people do you have on live on a gas station?
That's true. Not very often, and you're the first, actually.
I always like being the first.
Yeah. Do you want us to bring you back in when you guys get settled in somewhere?
Yeah. Actually, I'll just mute myself for just 2 minutes and I'll be back on.
Cool. All right, man. Sounds good. Here's why I want to start out with you guys. So there was just a tournament in Ohio. I was following. I'm sure many people were. What was it? Ohio kayak fishing, right?
Yep.
It was one. What was the total?
95
and 3/4.
Okay.
Smallies.
On
Smallies.
All small.
Lake. Okay.
Lake.
All smallies and lake. So,
Same lake. Second place, 93 inches, all largemouth.
there you go. So now, if you imagine, what do you think the odds are? The guy who had the 96, basically. Let's give him a shout out. I don't remember who it was. Sorry.
Alex Roberts.
Okay, Alex Roberts.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I get frustrated if I hear a podcast and someone's like, "Oh yeah, that guy that won the Bassmaster Championship last year in 24." I don't know, but that would have been like, "What, dude? Come on!" So yeah, Alex Roberts, you said, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Congrats to him.
I also want to say that he recorded it and just uploaded it to his YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken. Billy, do you know?
No, he doesn't record. We did an interview.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Somebody else
Strictly
did really
kayak
good.
fishing podcast. Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we did.
somebody else did really good up there and just posted their video too. So
Yeah.
Very cool. So there's some good content out there. So let me ask you this: what if he or anyone would have had another 5 hours? 5 hours, not 4, because
Possible century.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's you can do it.
And
yeah, he could have pushed it. He had a couple
Yeah.
18s in his bag, so
and new water in play that could potentially, gives you a second day to make a different decision. Because
Yeah.
I know you're sitting there beating your same fish up, and you're almost like, I don't know where to go and what to do. You know what I mean? Like, I got to go.
Right.
I'm just gonna sit here, I guess, and hope no one passes 95, whatever.
Yeah,
So,
I think any body of water, you're hard pressed for 100 inches in just those core bodies of water. But if you break it up into two or three of them, like there's a solid shot.
there's a chance.
Right.
Solid shot.
That'd be amazing. So where do we want to go with this first? Maybe let me pull up the map, and that'll help us get a little bit of a view of some of the water that's in play. We'll just kind of start talking about maybe different. I mean, this is the Great Midwestivus, and we made the boundaries for this one great because of that. Because there's not one big single 25, 50,000 acre reservoir in Ohio, so you need to kind of make up enough water by
Right.
going to all these. So we actually extended out a little bit further than an hour, which is not the norm, just a teeny bit further to hit the Columbus waters where this tournament was, obviously, and let's just kind of go look at the map and maybe even look at the look at the eligible water real quick. Let me share that screen. Let's see right here. So we'll start with, and I do need to put a boundary. I noticed that I don't have one for whatever reason. I didn't get one on the Little Miami. So I'm surprised no one's told me that yet. So I don't know what.
Nobody must be fishing it then.
Yeah, I know, right? But around Loveland should be about an hour, according to way. Yeah, there's
that'd be a solid. That'd be a solid boundary. There's a lot of good water.
Yeah.
That,
so
yep.
That there. So you got the Little Miami. You got the Great, and there's a boundary down here. If I could zoom in.
Where did you put the boundary on the GMR? I'm curious.
GMR is right here. There was actually an actual takeout access point.
Oh, okay. So that's.
You went down the Rentschiller.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went down the Rentschiller. Goodness.
That's some good water.
Oof.
Yeah. We did go down there.
There's a couple names that come to mind down there.
Yep.
Yep.
We definitely know that river's got them. The Little's got them for sure. But yeah, we went down there because it's a little further than an hour where we went. It might be like an hour and 5 minutes, but so the way the Kayak Adventure Series works, just so everyone knows, it's all about, we have a standard we go by. And that way no one can complain like, hey, at this event you did something this way, and then the other one you did it the other way, and that would have benefited me if you would have done it the way you did it at the other event. And so we just have a standard in our rules, and the boundary is an hour drive by Google Maps. But if we need to just barely creep over that hour to get a couple more legit bodies of water inbounds, we're going to do it. If we don't need any extra bodies of water, we don't go past that hour. We actually would rather keep it more like 45 minutes to 55 minutes. Really, that's what I'm sure our tourism partners too want to keep everything as tight as possible.
Right.
But to give you guys room to spread out. So because we went the direction towards Columbus, way over here, which is that far away, right, from Springfield, some of these, we also needed to make it fair for the other boundaries on the other direction, if that makes sense. So that's why it ended up going a little bit further than an hour down here. So, we'll see how that plays out. And then you got, this river here was this Stillwater River. We don't list every creek, guys. That's how we are. We're not going to list every little creek. Creek Crawler appreciates that over there. The Great Miami's listed, obviously, and we'll just talk about a few of these: the Mad River, and then we'll talk about Columbus waters, Little Miami. So between, and that's the wrong color. That's the wrong color. I just added this. This is the upstream boundary on that Stillwater River upstream boundary.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we need an upstream boundary on that one as well.
Yeah.
So,
what's that one above Sydney, Drew? Northeast of Sydney, is that Kaiser?
This is Lake Loramie. This is Indian Lake, and Kaiser's right here.
Gotcha. Okay.
You've got Indian
Loramie, is on a huge
Kaiser.
upswing for largemouth right now.
Yeah.
Huge upswing.
Indian looks really
that
cool.
clear water's been helping it with all that.
Yeah.
You should fish it during the tournament, Brian.
If I was good in grass, I probably would, to be honest with you. My buddy just said it took like 18 pounds to get first place. So.
Oh yeah, they're definitely there. Lake Loramie. I don't know if a lot of people even know much about this lake. I don't. I mean,
shallow and muddy.
A lot of those western. I grew up like a bike ride away from Indian Lake. A lot of those western Ohio lakes were dug for the canal, so they're really shallow. Like Indian Lake, I think the deepest hole is 12 feet on it, and it's not a big area. The vast majority of those lakes out there are 6 feet deep.
Yeah. Kaiser.
If your strength is grass, frogging, just fishing heavy grass, that's definitely.
They set up in interesting ways too. I'm not going to go into it because it gives a little bit away, but But yeah,
that right there is one of my favorite lakes to fish.
The small lake, small, but it's paddle only. Is that right?
Paddle only. Yep.
So Kaiser looks pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, these are all it looks like they're all good options. Plenty of river miles and creek miles for people to spread out. I mean, plenty.
Oh yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Ton of good. And then the Spring Valley Lake is a real small one. I mean, people don't know about this. Is what makes it unique too. People don't know about some of these lakes because, as far as tournaments, there aren't tournaments that ever include these lakes. Like you're not gonna have an Ohio kayak fishing tournament on Spring Valley Lake. It's too small. With our format, who knows if some of these could be sleeper? You know what I mean? You just don't know.
That place could be a sleeper for sure. The only problem is it gets hammered on the weekends.
Yeah.
So you're going to be competing with a bunch of other kayak anglers.
Well, we have a Friday afternoon session, so
That's what I was about to
There
say
you
with
go.
that Friday afternoon session, dude. You could take advantage of
Yep.
smaller crowds on the Friday evening. That would be killer.
yep.
Yeah,
Caesar Creek.
there's usually nobody on that lake during the week.
Yeah. Caesar Creek.
I'll tell you what my dad always says. He says this is kayak fishing. There's always going to be 20 kayaks around you all the time.
Yeah, we're all looking for the same stuff. That's right. Like
It's just what it is.
Right.
there's one called Cowan that's down here as well. Now, I mean, this is on the southern boundary, but this one looks pretty cool too. I mean, there's a kayak launch right here. I mean, lots of good access on this lake. So
Yeah, you can bounce around from each of those accesses like pretty quickly too. You can drive around the whole lake in like 20 minutes.
yeah, that's cool.
A lot of times the drives between some of these lakes is not bad either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
yeah,
Cowan
these
and
three.
Caesar Creek is what,
Yeah.
like 20, 30 minutes away from each other?
Oh yeah, it's got to be 20. Yeah, can't be even. Yeah, very far at all. They're right next to each other here. So, all right, well that's cool. It seems like we got some good lakes in that area, that Dayton kind of area, and then above Dayton here, and then for some reason, then we kind of bounce over. And I think these, it's like you guys said, it could come from either one of these. Like we'll call these the Columbus area, you know, rivers and creeks and lakes now. And you got this one here is the Madison Lake. Oh shoot, I end up. Hang on.
There's some big fish in there.
It's if you like flipping.
Yeah.
I only went there once, and the time I went there, it was super muddy, actually. Super muddy.
I don't get bit a lot there, but it's usually pretty decent whenever you do. I don't catch a ton of small fish. It's been a while since I've been out that way, but it's always shelled out some good fish.
It's a smaller lake, man, and there's usually bass boats on it.
Oh,
there's either nobody or bass boats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before I forget, I don't know if I talked. Did I say the Mad River? The Mad River is right there,
Yeah.
but I didn't even mention the actual lake that's right, Bug Creek,
CJ Brown.
which is Clarence CJ Brown, exactly. That's the one that's like literally right there in Buck Creek State Park. This is where it's going to be our official lodging partner. So if anybody,
cool.
wants to one of the official lodging partners. So if anybody wants to camp here, they've got cabins right here, I believe, somewhere, and they've got campgrounds. So that'd be a cool place for a lot of the people in this event to kind of gather. You know what I mean?
There's a big smallmouth in that lake too.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing.
Not only that, but CJ Brown is like huge for muskie too. So if you got like a muskie angler in your family and you want to bring them along with you, you have like a very high chance of catching a muskie there.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, we were like, hey Drew, like 4 years ago, we had a before OKF, we had the other trail. Reese Stoughton caught a 21-inch smallmouth.
Dang.
In that lake. So,
yeah,
they're in there. I think this is starting to sound to me like there's a strategy somewhere in this tournament that is a mixed. It's not just a mixed bag; it's a mixed water type. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's a Saturday on the lake and a Friday on the river, or vice versa. So,
Well, it's unique too because the rivers can still compete with the lakes around here.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
It's a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, sounds like
Literally, it's literally a 50-50 shot in my opinion.
So Madison, it's probably just going to come down to the execution. You know, it's like
it's going to be like the east versus the west side, dude.
Yeah,
How it sounds like. Got the
Deer
west
Creek.
side of Dayton, Columbus.
Is that inbounds?
East side.
Deer Creek Lake.
Deer Creek's inbounds.
Deer Creek's inbounds.
I tried to fish it one time and got blew off of it, so I didn't fish it again.
That's where the state record hybrid came out of, isn't it?
Then you've got Big Darby Creek. So we kind of had to. We don't always point out creeks, but that one's a really big creek. It's like a river. But we also had to note it because we needed to make sure people knew there was a launch boundary down here at this point. Otherwise, you just keep going forever, and you'll be further than an hour from.
Because that just dumps right into the Scioto. So that launch boundary there, you can't go further south than that.
No, you can.
Correct?
No, they're launch boundaries. You can go further south. You can always go up or downstream of the up or downstream launch boundary. So
gotcha.
Same with this one. I mean, you can go
And that's
further
on the
down.
Scioto right there.
Yeah, on the Scioto. Yeah.
Yep.
So the Scioto River, we all know there's good fish on there too, and even the rivers that feed it, the Olentangy, I believe that's the upper Scioto here. But you got the Olentangy's right here, and above town is where I got it marked. But you can see, you guys can check that one out. So
there's probably 10 or 12 rivers and creeks, ain't there, altogether?
Oh, it's a lot. I mean, I don't know how many creeks that actually are.
If you count all the unnamed stuff, there's an absolute ton.
That's fishable, yeah.
They're
and Alum Creek here. That was the tournament, right? Alum and Hoover. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. There's another one there, May 17th. So that'll probably pile people up on that lake, probably.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we hit them all there. That's it. All right, so I think definitely it could be a mixed bag, a mixed bodies of water. It's going to be nuts to see exactly how this all shakes out because there's so many different strategies you could use. So many. It's going to be a wild event, which is why it's the Great Midwestivus, I guess. So
yeah,
it's going to be crazy. What else we need to cover with you guys? What other topics about the fishing do you guys want to touch on?
I will say, just because some of these lakes are small, Alum and Indian just come to mind because I'm familiar with them. But in June, you're starting to get into some recreational boat traffic, and our lakes are a bit smaller, and some of them don't have horsepower maxes and stuff like that. So if you're not comfortable kind of in a washing machine, a boat wake, in some of those places, if you plan on fishing Main Lake, just take that into consideration.
Yeah.
What was it, 3 or 4 years ago somebody died on Alum?
Yeah.
Someone definitely have a plan to fish the morning there and get out before it gets crazy, maybe get your 20. That's the other thing about the lakes. Tell me if I'm wrong about this. Again, I've been in Ohio, like 4 or 5 years, and I don't really fish in the state that much, quite frankly. Just doing the family thing and work thing when I'm at home and then traveling to do these other national events. But I could be wrong on this, but I think there's the better odds of catching a 22-inch largemouth or 21 plus inch. If you're going to catch a 21 plus, it's probably the better odds are a largemouth than a smallmouth. So your higher end might be, you know what I mean? Like I've heard of 23s, but I could be wrong. There could be 23-inch smallmouth. I don't know.
There's several 21 and 22-inch smallmouth.
Yeah.
But you're going to catch a 23-inch, 23 and a half inch, 24-inch largemouth anywhere or no?
Yeah, there's a possibility of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you're not catching a.
I don't know if it'll happen, but they're there.
It's possible,
they're there, right? But there's probably not there for smallmouth. They're like they don't exist. It's like the Susky. It's hard to get one over 20 at the Susky, and it's the Susky. It's like, but you could catch a largemouth in Pennsylvania that goes 24 inches in a lake in that state. So I guess my point is, if there's any slight advantage, like if you get a kicker largemouth, it gives you a little like a 22 and a half or something. You got a little wiggle room. So if you're trying to get 20 as an average, then if you go to the river and you end up, filling out your limit with some 19s or 18 and a half, 3/4, you might hit 100.
My PB smallmouth in the state of Ohio is a lake fish from one of the lakes in play. And I've fished north side of Kelly's, like Erie fish and stuff like that, and still it's 21 and 3/4.
Yeah, not true.
21 and
not
3/4
true.
is from.
That's not true.
Billy was there.
Billy was there. Billy was there, and I cut my bait off and I gave it to him.
You caught a 20. You caught a 22 in a river.
I did, but that was Michigan. I'm saying I caught a 20. My personal best Ohio smallmouth came from a lake that's in play.
Well, that's kind of a point. It's like, dude, you're an incredible angle. That's your personal best of all the fishing you've done. It's 21 and 3/4. So the odds of someone catching one even 21 on a smallmouth in this event is pretty slim, probably. Like 20, something over 20 is going to show up for sure, but I don't know about anything over 21. But I could see a 21 and a half largemouth, or 21 and a quarter, or 22 largemouth.
Well, last year there was a 21 and a half inch smallmouth caught out of a lake that won Big Bass, the event that I won locally. So
I think one of the guys that did Smalley Games last year caught a 22 out of one of these lakes too, smallmouth. So, but that's
they're there.
They're there, but I guess what I'm saying is, but in all these tournaments last year, what was the biggest largemouth? It was probably bigger than that smallmouth, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
don't think no one caught a 22 or 22 and a half or anything
all last year.
I guess we're not fishing the AEP lands, so.
Well, they don't always pick the best lakes either, so keep that in mind.
That's true.
100%.
That's true.
So it really could be a coin flip for sure.
Yep.
If they hit more northeast Ohio lakes, there'd be bigger largemouth caught.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So that's the difference. See, I'm used to like hearing about all the Northeast Ohio, like which is actually there's a lot of good lakes up here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of
that-
good stuff.
For bass fishing, it's actually pretty darn good. Weiker's saying that someone is going to troll for smallies, so which does bring up the point.
Probably be him.
Yeah. Probably. He said he was going to do it. I mean, why not do it if it's legal in the tournament? Why not?
It's legal.
If you're moving from one spot to the next, it's a no-brainer. So someone may do that. Obviously, the team division is going to come and play big. I know a lot of people are going to team up and, obviously help each other out. That's going to help. I think we might see, this mid upper 90s definitely for sure hit at this event with how many people we're expecting. So it'll be crazy. Dustin, we haven't chatted with you yet, man. We appreciate you and Raccoon Creek and everything you do. We talked to Mark earlier from Loveland. We know you'll be at this event as an angler and probably even have some people from the shop doing some stuff. So how you guys been, man? You're rock and rolling down there. Season's kicked off well.
We are getting ready for opening weekend in a couple weeks. So we're, in that grind moment right now is we're trying to get everything done. It's kind of chaotic, but actually today, I kind of snuck off, came up here to East Harbor, and I'm playing around up here this weekend tonight.
Nice.
So,
Hey Dustin, are you guys doing demos in the parking lot still at Raccoon Creek, or did the creek come down?
the water went down a little bit.
That was crazy. That was wild.
We can still do demos in the campground. So I can do like tours of each site in the kayaks. So we're good.
Crazy.
It is.
Well, I know you're looking forward to this event, and if anyone needs anything, you're right there too. People are coming from all over different directions. So if you're kind of what you consider yourself southeast Ohio, I guess, and in that zone. So sort of just south of Columbus, a little bit to the east. If anyone's coming through that direction, you guys can pick up whatever you need at Raccoon Creek. You guys have been doing some killer outfitting lately and just rigging. It's just unbelievable to see what you guys are doing, and Weiker and Justin, the whole team. You guys are crushing it. So appreciate you, and obviously say anything you want about Raccoon Creek, but we kind of had you on here also just as an angler because you fish all these events and tournaments. So what are your thoughts, man, on this event and all the different waters and the game plan, the strategy that's going to come into play to figure this puzzle out?
I think my prediction is I think the rivers are going to win this one if Mother Nature cooperates.
Yeah.
That's going to be the ultimate challenge right there is Mother Nature.
It's true.
We're talking June. The weather should be good. The water should be prime. But you know how we can have typical Drew tournament.
Yeah.
We can have a hurricane in Ohio.
Yeah, it could happen.
So who really knows? But I definitely think anybody that's coming to this event is going to have the opportunity to definitely crush some personal best smallmouth in that area. And if you hit any of the lakes, there's some really good fishing in the lakes too. So, and from where it's located at, it's kind of got a little bit of everything. The town of Springfield is awesome. And I know you kind of talked a little bit earlier about having a little whitewater kind of play area right in there. So that's really cool. Anybody wants to bring a whitewater boat, or I'll probably have mine there. Wants to play around, maybe learn how to surf a little bit or something like that. That'd be cool too.
Yeah. Bash you,
I'll bring my Primo. I'll join you.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Actually, I've watched my daughter surf, sit on top kayaks several times.
Nice.
So.
Is this true? Is this Weiker? What he's saying, is that true? Is he talking about Raccoon Creek's putting on some demos, or what's he talking
We
about?
are. We're doing a demo tomorrow on Allen Creek down by the dam. We're actually doing it partly for the Ohio State fishing team. They have a couple bass boats, but they are really kind of looking towards getting into having more of their anglers in the kayaks.
They should.
So
all the colleges. Makes sense.
Yep.
I mean,
it's affordable, and the kids can go. It's a lot easier. They're not fighting over one or two bass boats. So we're going down and doing awesomely. But yeah, we're gonna go down, take some of our rigged out boats, check them out, and just kind of show everything off. So.
Are you going out of the Galena ramp, Dustin?
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you because I was going to be there tomorrow anyway.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna be hanging out. I think it's gonna be from around 1:30 to 2:00 range, and we're just gonna hang out with some of the college kids and talk to them about the tournaments and all the ins and outs of basically fishing out of a kayak versus a bass boat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, no one can afford a bass boat when you're in college. I mean, so it makes sense that colleges should be, getting into this kayak fishing stuff a little bit more. So
Right.
where
It's
it's
definitely
perfect
something
fit.
they can afford a lot. Like a university team, it's way easier to afford your team a whole brand new kayak than trying to get them. You can get the whole team kayaks instead of just one boat.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
true. And then
I
only
think it's a good platform for the state of Ohio because we just don't have big lakes. Like you can fish more stuff in a kayak.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, it's true.
And there's a lot more tournaments that they can afford to get into.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Let me bring in our little our itinerary for the week here. So you guys can see this is the website. All the information is on it. You guys should. By the way, we need to push, right, Jake? I mean, I know Jake's not in the live right now, but we need to push people to start registering for this event. We actually just put all the event details up, whatever, a week or two ago, and registration is up and going, guys. So the first 50 anglers will get a $100 gift bag, sponsors gift bag. The first 50 anglers who register. So, and that's in the individual division, Cast King individual division. So appreciate that. And we are going to have a lot of folks in that Torpedo team division. And of course, the Z-Man Micro Finesse, that's going to be popular at this event as well. So moving on, though, you guys can check all this out on your own time. But I just want to bring up the important dates and schedule. We'll make any changes on this website. It'll always stay here. There's no other place you can get the information for KAS. So we don't confuse anybody. It's all just right here on this website. But let's see, Wednesday the 11th, that week of, Friday, let's start there. May 30th, the 2-week practice window begins. So that means on May 30th, from that point on, including May 30th, you only get 4 days on eligible water. Just 4 days. That's it. You guys pick the 4 days you want. All the anglers can pick it. Doesn't matter. Just if you're on the water at all, that counts as a day. There's no, I was on the water for a half day, let me do another half day. It's just the way we got to do it. It's 4 days total. So,
oh goodness, I'm gonna have to keep track of that.
Yeah,
That's like my whole.
Brian, get a hold of me. We'll go explore some new rivers out of bounds because I'm gonna.
I'll be following you, creek crawler.
I need to get myself out of here too.
But don't forget, before the 30th, you could be on water all you want, as much as you want.
Right. Makes sense.
Just those, and that's just to help level it a little bit for those, obviously who might be in college, like we just talked about, living in a van. They could literally camp out for 2 weeks if they wanted to, and they will, believe me. If you let the rule, be unlimited, they will. And then, of course, all the tournaments get won by said kid living in a van. Then all the anglers stop entering tournaments. So we want to make it level for everybody out there, whether you got, a lot of vacation time or little. Wednesday's welcome dinner is at Station 1. We're actually going to go over this all in the pre-recorded video we did earlier, interview we did with our tourism partners, but that's really cool. You guys could watch that. It's a cool restaurant there right on Buck Creek. Pre-fishing will end at 6 p.m. Some of KAS events are 5 p.m. We went to 6 because there's more daylight in the summer, right? It's starting to get light longer. We want to let you guys at least stay on the water till 6, which means that pushes our registration, opening ceremonies, check-in, registration, food, games, 6 to 8:30 at Mother Stewart's Brewing, and registration will end that night at 8. The Bass U brunch is that next day at the Springfield Museum of Art right there, which is right on Buck Creek. Again, you'll see that whitewater play area. We showed it earlier with Hans on the stream, and you'll see it again in our interview with our tourism partners. And then right now, if this changes, it will definitely change soon. We've got the afternoon session where you can launch at 2:30 and lines in is at 3 and lines out is at 8.
Nice.
We're giving you 5 hours because, again, the daylight. Daylight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's going down.
5 hours. So that's an extra hour, okay? And then I think sunset is at right around 8:30, 8:40, I think that time of year, 8:30. So you're basically getting it almost to like, you know what I mean, the end. But we just don't want to keep you guys out too late. You know how it is. You're an hour
Right.
away. You got a 30-minute paddle back or motor back to your ramp, loading up. And next thing you know, you're back trying to get food, showered. It's like midnight, and then you got to get up super early because on Saturday it gets light earlier, starting to get in the summer. So launch is going to be. I'm trying something new because people do like to get out there and get away from each other a little bit before that first cast time. So 30 minutes was a little much sometimes if we want, the anglers to not have to launch in the dark and the pitch dark and the cold.
Right.
So we're just going to do 15 minutes, which most of these bodies of water, like we've seen, they're pretty small. So you got good access at most of them. So you could probably get to where you need to be by lines in 15 minutes. So 5:45 a.m. is your launch, and then lines in is at 6. And lines out will be at 3, which is always the number for KS events. So that's what is that, 6 to 3? Is that 9 hours? I don't know, something like that. 9
Something
hours.
like that.
9 plus 5. I mean, yeah, 9 plus
Holy.
5. That's a lot of time to get up to that mid upper 90s, even 100 inches.
Yeah, I think we're hitting mid-90s for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
think so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to surprise some people. This event's going to shock some people on the numbers.
Yeah, I've heard some.
Yeah, I think I'm
I've
gonna
heard
go
some people
fish.
chirping around that
Yeah.
that are kind of like, what? Why are we going to Springfield? We're about to show.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. People usually hear Ohio and they're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Don't they share the same 6 bass?
Yeah.
Most of the time.
So it's, what is it? Flip around and find out the FO. It's like,
Yep.
this one's going to be, you're going to fish around and find out, guys. You're going to fish around and find out.
That,
There's
that
some
needs to
good-
be a shirt.
Yeah.
It is.
It is.
Oh, is
Somewhere.
it?
Aggressively average anglers.
I might have to get me one.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm excited to see how it shakes out. Anything else that is interesting or unique about this event? I'm trying to think of what we've missed before we just play our.
I was
interview.
going to bring up the Mad River. I know, the waters down here in Dayton, we get a little bit of rain. Those rivers shoot up pretty quick. So I was just going to let everybody know to be careful. If you're on the Mad River, that one shoots up really quick, and it already flows fast as it is. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of strainers.
Yeah.
So if you're on the river,
Darby
be careful.
Darby's very similar.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, Justin's going to take a smallie out. He says, "There we go." So
All
someone
right.
might catch a smallie and a smallie at this event. We'll see.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that will for sure happen.
It'll be
yeah.
a good boat.
Yeah.
Because the Riker's joking around saying "bring on the rain," but honestly, he's probably. I don't think he's saying it to say "bring on the rain" for all the blow out all the rivers so he can.
No.
saying
No,
If
not
we
Robert.
get a little bit of rain, that
Careful
river
what
comes
you're
up,
asking for, Bobby.
It's gonna be
'cause
be careful because
That can-
see
that
the
can help
rain
us.
helps those lakes big time too though, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
get a little stain flowing into some of these lakes and some of those areas and that time of year. So the rain it'll be interesting to see what happens with everything's always weather dependent. So,
Yeah, I'm telling you, if you get a little bit of rain like the night before the Derb, the rivers are going to be in the lakes. They're just going to be lights out, especially in June.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Yeah.
It'll be a legit hammer fest if we just get a little bit of rain and it comes up a couple inches. Oh goodness.
I just need Billy's Creek where he caught that giant. I need the waypoint for that.
I'll
It was
drop
good seeing
it
you
to
guys. Gotta go. Bye, everyone.
Don't
It's
worry, I
not in
got you.
bounds, Jake. It's not in bounds.
That's perfect for me.
I'll-
I just want to go get one of Billy's pets.
Well, it's going to be a good one. I know that we're going to have a huge turnout, and I think that a lot of the anglers. This is going to be critical. We have South Boston, Virginia. So anyone watching this who's coming to the Great Midwestivus, if you have any, like dreams of getting in that AOI race and winning that $10,000 prize, that trailer, that overland tent, the modern buggy, anything like that, obviously the team of the year. It'd be smart to maybe get ahead and go fish the South Boston, Virginia event. So get one event under your belt because it's your best 2 out of the regular season 6 that count, plus your finale there at the Broodstock. So that gives you your 3 total, but one of them has to be Broodstock. So give yourself a buffer because if you go and you wait till your first one is the Great Midwestivus, you could still go to the Upper Mississippi, which I think people are obviously would love to go there. It's like the mecca of smallmouth, and you could go to the one on the Susky. But you're limiting yourself a little bit. So be considering coming down to this one. It's not far from Ohio. in South Boston, Virginia, because that one is going to be a blast as well. So I want to throw that in there. And then just ask this one, final question, I think. So do you guys, it seems to me like, do you think small, like really teeny water could even like play? Like, I don't know if the
Yes.
fish get very good and big. In
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Yes.
So keep
I've got some small creeks that I've under really ideal conditions. I've gone mid-90s out of them.
Yeah.
Like stuff you could darn near spit across.
Ryan took me down one of those creeks last year, and I went another time after that, and I hit 92 inches.
Yeah.
Well, you went back without the guy who showed you the spot.
I did.
Wow.
That guy.
We got that on video.
Hey, I took Brad to a creek and he did the same thing to me. This must be a pattern.
Sounded like it. Yeah.
Hey, it's within driving distance. It's all free game.
If anyone else has something on Brad, and like even anyone watching the comments, then you
it's fair. There's better spots too, Brad.
Yeah.
I believe it.
If he's done that to you, then because what does Brian Thrift say? Like one fish is an accident, 2 fish is a coincidence, and 3 is a pattern. So if someone else in the comments, if Brad's done that, then it truly will be a pattern. So we need 3. But hey, Brad, before we kind of wrap this thing, I do want to say appreciate you guys at the Catch Podcast. You and Matt do a great job. And you're bringing all the winners this year from the Kayak Adventure Series. So you've sort of become like our recap podcast for the winners, which is pretty cool. And, we had you guys had Adam Coleman on recently who won. If you guys seen Jake at the beginning of the episode here today, or the live stream, shared the highlight video, which we haven't even really posted about that. We made this cool 14-minute highlight video from all the footage that you guys in Paris, the Paris Reel Fest anglers sent us. We put it all together with our drone footage and the footage we got, and Adam Coleman from Northeast Ohio obviously won. We got him, cast to catch and some cool fish catches while we were there. So we're going to make a highlight reel for all the events. So I just want to encourage you guys to get ready, get prepared, and film this event to the best of your ability. And we're going to make those highlight reels, get them packed together. And then if you win, you're going to be on the Catch Podcast with Brad and Matt. And just want to give you guys a shout out and say, how's that been going? Have you guys had it sounds like you've had some pretty cool conversations with some guests. Trust me, I would love to listen, but I've already talked to those winners on stage and everywhere else and haven't had a chance to re-listen to again, like something I already lived through. But everyone seems to be pumped up about, their appearances.
Yeah, Adam's show was really cool. Just hearing about his whole ordeal going down to Texas and stuff and getting stuck in those tornadoes down in Missouri, I think, or Mississippi.
All the way through, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty cool story. And then the 2 guys from Florida winning the first event, buddies fishing together. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. And his last day in Florida, he was moving to North Dakota. Literally the next day in February, he was about to take off that Monday, and our tournament's on Saturday, ends on a Saturday, and they ended their time together, good friends, with one of the coolest days ever.
He's closer to Minnesota now, so he might come to that one.
Well, they're both coming to Ohio too, so.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Great. That's cool. The event. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm excited about it. Anything we've missed that you guys can think of about this event? I don't really know of anything. We're going to play this
20-inch smallie out of Raccoon Creek.
Can we catch one?
Are they in there?
I mean, well, it's not in bounds.
I never had luck with smallies in Raccoon Creek, but spotted bass and largemouth, there's really good spotted bass and largemouth. I don't know, that's some other smallies in there?
Right next door in the Hocking River, you can.
Yeah, the Hocking River.
Yeah, the Hocking's got some really good ones, but yeah, the Raccoon is pretty much just spots and largemouth.
I thought I recall somebody catching like 57 inches for a 3-fish limit in Raccoon Creek before.
Yeah,
that's been done.
Was it Drew?
What was it? I don't.
No, Drew.
He wasn't even in the tournament.
No,
we had a tournament, and Drew went out. Like everyone fished.
Oh, that's true.
Their butts off, and Drew was like, "I'm gonna take a little leisurely," and then he would have won the tournament.
He took his son with him too. He took Theo.
Yeah, I had Theo with me. I don't think I would have won. Would I? I don't remember.
Yeah,
I think he would have won.
I would have. I don't remember.
So.
I don't remember how that went down. I just remember.
Check.
Yeah, when I cashed a check, I just went and fun fished right there, right behind Raccoon Creek Outfitter. I was just right there with funny. Theo. And here's the cool part about that story. Clayton Hask and I, right? You guys all know Clayton.
Yep.
He we looked at he floated that same section and actually caught a 16-inch largemouth, which pretty good little largemouth for the creek there. And he said he caught one too. And I was like, really? And then we looked at the pictures and it was the exact same largemouth. Bit on the same day for both of us. Caught the same fish. That's crazy. So it's just wild. Which actually, I'm glad I thought about this. Reminded me when I brought up the skinny water, and if that could play, that shows how when you get in small water and creeks, how aggressive they are. And yeah, we might have got lucky that they both bit. But I just want to warn all the anglers pre-fishing this event if you're going to fish water that's that skinny, dude, if you know they're there, don't keep catching them in practice because it may not work as good as it just did for Clayton and I that day. You can beat them up because other people may have found the same creek and been fishing it too in practice. So you better be careful. You're going to burn your fish.
Yep. That's exactly why I don't go back to my consecutive stretches on 2 days in a row.
On what river?
On any river. Like I won't hit the same place 2 days in a row ever.
Yeah. It's just a mental thing. You know, old Zach from Dark Horse is saying he wants to see an Ohio versus Southwest PA total inch battle. So I guess he's talking. You talking about the broodstock total number versus this Ohio number? I mean, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think that broodstock will win.
Yeah,
I think that one's going to surprise people. They're just
who knows,
Pennsylvania
man?
is a sleeper.
I'm excited
giant
about that area.
Factory.
I don't know if
I've never been there, but I'm excited about that area.
If you take the top 3 from the Midwestivus and the top 3 from up there, I bet it would be a
pretty
close game.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see.
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
come back
find out.
to this.
We'll find out because
I'm curious now.
I think June's a little bit better. I think June's a better time. So I think that gives Ohio, even if they might be just all things being equal, you know what I mean? Like maybe it's a little bit higher over there, but June's a little better time to fish, I think, than later in the year.
GoPro highlight. Sorry, I was trying to keep the.
Well, I just appreciate you guys.
GoPro time lapse.
Oh yeah. Bill, you better have some good footage of this just to put it all to rest with Jake. You better get some really good, crisp GoPro Hero 13 footage for this event. We want it on the big screen.
I was deleting footage and I saw a file called Big Bass Billiam Kayaks. And I was like, what is this? I forget. And I realized, it's the time-lapse thing that I repaired.
Thanks. Yeah. And it was only 17 inch. But whatever.
Hey, man, you were the only one that put the effort out there.
At the beginning, people got to learn. It pays to record in the Kayak Adventure Series in so many ways. Appreciate Keegan Wright saying the highlight video was awesome. Yeah, we thought it was pretty cool. We got a lot of fish catches from the anglers.
I did post about it. I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, okay.
We did post. We posted a couple stories now. We'll do a little amended version here this weekend, I think.
We'll post it up. So, I'm excited, guys, for this event. Excited for South Boston, Virginia coming up. And then for me personally, I'll be at Dale Hollow even before that for the Bassmaster Kayak Series. So I'm excited about that. So a lot of the best fishing and the weather is ahead of us. We're almost out of it here in Ohio. And just appreciate you guys. There's not a better, I don't know if there's a better group of anglers. It's funny because people knock on Ohio for, as a fishing state, not being as, be as good as some other states. But I don't know if there's a better group of people and anglers I've ever met than the group from Ohio that travels everywhere. They're just loyal, and I love that about you guys, and appreciate it. And thanks for your time.
Super committed, loyal. And a quick thing before we leave. So my wife's pregnant. Our boy is due the weekend of Midwestivus.
Oh.
So I think he's going to come before. We're having a C-section, but I think he's coming before. But I'm fishing the event for sure, and I'm going to fish it for him. So whenever he comes and gets to see this video, whatever, I'm doing it for him. So.
That's the baby bump. You're gonna. It always happens on the elites, man. They have a baby, next thing you know, they win like the next event. So,
and we might as well not even do the tournament now.
You guys better just pack it up.
Yeah. Speaking of Brian, I think I might need a team partner for Midwestivus. So
there you go.
I don't know if you're looking.
All right.
Are you gonna name him Creek Slate?
In the background, but
actually, we're going to name him River. Actually,
River.
Yeah.
River crawler.
So
the river crawler.
He'll be crawling until he's a toddler. And they got to change his River Walker.
I'm excited. A lot of good things to come. So
River Walker. Walker should be his middle name.
River Walker
Crawler. River Crawler Walker. Maybe Crawler is the middle
Maybe
name.
that'll be his YouTube channel, the River Walker.
Oh yeah.
His daddy crawled.
I'll hand it down to him.
Pass it down. That's great, man. Well, I'm excited. We'll see if we can't. Someone can catch a fish that's longer than your son. We'll see. Get a measurement. Get a measurement.
Yeah.
It only counts if it's on the catch board, though, Slayton. So.
That's right.
I'm gonna take a picture of him on the catch board.
Clean it first.
Yep.
Oh, JT's hunting for his first 20-inch smallie. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
JT, it's a good place to
chance.
do it here.
I think JT will get it. He got close last year, and honestly, like I'm pretty sure JT's also going to Minnesota, so I gotta imagine.
Oh
he's
yeah,
gonna hit it.
You're gonna get it.
What do we have? What do we say? 14 hours total? 15 hours
To get where? To go up to the
for this derby with a day and a half? It's
14
hours.
it's like 9 plus 5. So yeah, it's
yeah,
14. Yeah, you have a really good chance of hitting a 20 for sure.
Yeah, and then all the practice as well. I'm trying to scroll back through some of these comments earlier. There was a lot. I couldn't keep up with them, but we do have someone. I wanted to make note of this too. It is Father's Day weekend.
Oh wow!
So may need to bring and your son's going to be born. That's pretty cool. And Catch and Chase is saying may want to bring Dad out of retirement for a team. I do think we're going to have a lot of fathers and sons there. We're going to definitely do a tribute to
the
fathers.
That's awesome.
Isaacs are going to. They probably get the father and son bump of luck too, just like you got the baby bump.
Speaking of,
that's a tough team too.
Yeah, Catch and Chase. That's Connor. He just did really good at the Allen Creek event. He got 7th place, I think. He cracked the 20
nice.
Smalley. So him and his dad are river hammers locally. So yeah, get in there, Connor.
Yeah, that's going to be a cool event. And we wanted so Mother's Day weekend, you got to avoid that. If you're a tournament director running tournaments, you got to avoid Mother's Day, okay? Let's face it. But our tournaments are Friday and Saturday, so don't forget Father's Day is Sunday. So even if you've got some commitments with your dad, if he doesn't fish or he doesn't want to come, not bring him to this event, or if you're not, if you are a dad, I think you should be able to get the pass to do whatever you want and come fish this event. So hopefully you can pull that off with your family and even still get back for Sunday festivities, whatever you guys do for Father's Day. So it's going with all the good stuff you're about to watch in this interview with the City of Springfield folks. It is definitely going to be a really fun week and weekend to bring dads to come to for sure. So I'm looking forward to it. And, it's going to be fun, guys. It's my wife's birthday on the 14th, the day of our tournament, that's Saturday. So I also got to, make sure she has a really, really great weekend too, because it's always right there by Father's Day. And I'm running an event, but she's going to have a blast there. It's such a cool town and good festivities, good folks. So,
and we're going to talk about that in the next little bit here once you guys are all gone. So, because there's a lot of stuff to do in this town. And we talked about
you bringing Ramon down?
We are going to, I think Ramon's going to come, the whole family. I think that's the plan. So we'll see if it ends up happening. But I think that's the plan right now. Bring everyone, and we'll see
Ramon
how it goes. Yeah, Ramon shout out here on the KS. My father-in-law's a trip, so everyone.
I want to see Ramon in a Smalley.
Yeah. Okay. That means you want to get a good look at the whole of the Smalley. Is what you're saying.
I've seen
the cigar will not
survive. With them all.
Yeah.
I just remember it was pouring rain and the Susky was mud, and he still had a cigar in his mouth.
Well, Dustin, you can tell the story. And when he flipped with you guys, he flipped over.
Yeah, he flipped over and in a rapid and popped up. Anything you see is an arm sticking out of the water with the cigar sticking out of the water. He pops up and hits the cigar and says, "I can't believe I flipped it again."
Not the rods or the get the cigar.
Yeah, the cigar, man.
He didn't care about any of the rest of it. He just had his cigar. So.
Yep. That's Ramon for sure. Yeah, he's going to be there. He's a party for sure. So we'll bring him, and we'll have a blast, guys. It's going to be fun. So make sure you guys, obviously, I know how it is. You're at tournaments, you're with. There's a lot going on. But the Kayak Venture Series, we try to make it not so jam-packed where you can't have the energy to still do this extra stuff. But, man, this is one event. I'm telling you right now, don't miss anything. Don't miss the hangout at the opening ceremonies at the Mother Stewart's Brewing. Don't miss the Bash U brunch right there on the Buck Creek and at the Museum of Art and all that. Don't miss the closing ceremonies, and the after party and the band they're bringing in for us. It's going to be a blast. So we're going to have so much fun, and we're going to show people what Ohio's all about on the water and off the water. So
that's what I'm talking about.
Man. Let's do it. But all right, well, you guys have a good one. And we will play this interview here on our way out, and maybe even when it's over at some point, we'll, like you said, Jake will post eventually a abbreviated version of that highlight reel that you guys should aim to be a part of, because it's like the highlights from Major League Fishing and the Elite Series when they do the day one highlights. That's what it is. And we're giving you guys the exposure, working our tails off over here for this trail to show people how exciting this format is. So let's show it to the world.
We're actually doubling down for South Boston. Even more reason to come, because we're going to have some pretty skilled drone pilots there potentially. So
yeah, that's true.
Nice.
And if we get 150 anglers, I'm going to give the $10,000 GoPro guarantee. So we'll see if we can pull that off. But thanks again, guys. We'll catch you later.
Awesome, guys. See you later.
See ya.
Thanks for having me.
Later.
All right. Let's I guess we'll just roll right into it.
Let's roll.
So
this is a good interview. So you guys are going to love this, and we'll thanks for showing up, everyone, and all the comments, and we will catch you guys at the next one. I don't know if we're doing one next week, but we'll I guess let you guys know. All right, guys, starting off the show here, one of my favorite interviews of every Kayak Adventure Series preview show has got to be talking to the local tourism department, because every one of them honestly is like just so passionate about their community, where they live in their area. And of course, I've reached out to them because I'm passionate about the incredible fisheries that they are blessed with, that God's just blessed them with, within 45 minutes, an hour or so of all their, basically the theater, right? That where we're going to be for our award. So Springfield, Ohio has blown me away with the amount of water that's in the area around there. I think Ohio gets forgotten about a little bit because from a fishing standpoint, because there's not one major large reservoir, right? So you don't see a lot of the big bass boat tournaments going there. You see some in Lake Erie, but you don't see like this one or two, like Tennessee's got like 10 or 15, 20, like of these giant 15, 20,000 acre plus reservoirs. So it gets a little bit forgotten about, but that's where the Kayak Adventure Series comes in. And we can, with our format, utilize all these incredible fisheries and this incredible water that Springfield, Ohio has been blessed with. But what I was really surprised about was even some of the venues we're going to use and just the cool amenities and things this city has going on. So I'm going to bring in two of the best from Springfield, Chris Schutte and Christina from the Greater Springfield Partnership. What's up, guys? How's it going?
Hey.
Hey, Drew and Jake. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing good. Excited to be chatting with you all about the event, and just excited about this event. Everyone in Ohio is buzzing about it already in the kayak fishing circles, but I know you probably don't live in our world, so you may or may not know any of that, but they are excited about it.
We've been doing our research. We've seen it.
Well, tell us before we get started a little bit about what you guys do there in Greater Springfield and how you're making things, just even better for this area.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for having us. We appreciate it. So Drew, I just want to get a sense of how many times we need to mention GoPro to make sure we get a GoPro.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, let's clip this for GoPro. You guys got it. You guys probably have the list. If you off camera, you pan down, I'm sure you got the list of all the sponsors. Like
exactly.
There, so you got to.
Or if Toyota wanted to send us just a courtesy vehicle, that'd be great too. Yeah, we are super excited to host you guys for the event in June. Something that honestly was not on my radar until you and I started talking, Drew. And it's like we just got more excited about it the more we learned about it. We're really lucky here to have some partners that are really invested in recreation locally. Kevin Loftus and John Loftus, who created Whitewater kayak runs through our downtown. They also head up the Friends of Buck Creek and Mother Stewart's Brewing, who we'll hear a little bit about later. They're partnering with us with the Greater Springfield Partnership to help bring you guys here. And it's honestly, it's a great time to come to Springfield right now. There's a lot of things going on here. We have all kinds of activity in our downtown. We've really been pushing for a really vibrant city center for the last 5 or 6 years, and it's all starting to come to fruition. But for your guys' purposes, I mean, we are literally most known. We just did, as I told you the other day, we did a consumer perception study recently, and we are most known for outdoor recreation in this area. That is what we are number one known for. The centerpiece of that is Buck Creek State Park, 2,100 acre lake, cabins, camping, all kinds of other great amenities there. We hope maybe some of your anglers may choose to stay there in the newly renovated cabins. But that's, that is really the backbone. Our park system and recreation here is honestly second to none. And so we're really excited, especially for when we have your competitors in town, a lot of whom are also really world-class influencers. We're super excited for them to be here and show the rest of the world, literally because of their reach, what Springfield has to offer, and what a great location we are for outdoor rec.
Yeah, for sure. And we got Buck Creek State Park. I think Jake's got that on the screen now. You can zoom in up there, some cabins and some camping on that peninsula there. So that's cool. I think the anglers will definitely stay there. They love to camp, and some obviously want the cabin. So I think given how centrally located that this is, and it's the closest probably body of water to, I mean, other than Buck Creek itself, right there to downtown, which is where we've got stuff going on like the entire, week from Wednesday to the opening, welcome dinner Wednesday. I'll actually pull it up, Jake. I'll pull up the website. We'll kind of go in chronological order real quick, and I'll share that screen because we got some really cool stuff going on at this event that you guys will not want to miss. So obviously you go to the website, kayagadventureseries.com, the Great Midwestivus. I love that name. I don't know if anyone knows.
I mean, it's funny because everyone thinks we came up with it. I'm like, oh, naturally. Yeah, we came up with the name. But I mean, how did you come up with that? Because it seems to resonate really well.
Well, it's from the old Seinfeld, the Festivus. Remember the Seinfeld episode that's what the Festivus, the Festivus.
We do an airing of grievances here.
100%.
Yeah, the airing of grievances. Yeah.
It was 100% his idea. When he was pitching me names, I was like, I don't know, that's kind of weird. But I'm starting to realize picking weird names tends to do well.
And it's like #1 Seinfeld fan over here. The amount of references I've had to learn working here.
Yeah. Same here.
That's what I know. It's like Festivus, right? And he's like, exactly. I was like, yeah.
We've got to do this. At this event, we have to get people on stage whenever we need to kill time or something, or just for fun of it.
Air their grievances
of what went wrong in their tournament. I lost this fish. My kayak flipped over. I lost rods, reels, fish.
And we need to have like a broken rod on a pedestal up there.
Yes, that's perfect. And as George's dad said, I've got a lot of problems with you people.
Yeah. That's exactly right. That's a good one. Let's clip that. If we get to get Seinfeld a clip from YouTube or something, Jake, and we'll put that on the big screen when that part of the awards presentation happens. That is going to be hilarious. The airing of grievances. Oh, so if you see here the important dates and schedule, guys, when you scroll down, you guys can see my screen, right? Because I can't even see you guys. I'm just looking at my screen. But
we can see.
Perfect. Important dates and schedule. Wednesday, the 11th. That's the Wednesday welcome dinner at Station 1, presented by Kayak or Die. You're going to get some discounts to Kayak or Die, their gear that they do, their apparel. And then that's just optional for those who are already in town. So if you click on, I can click on this link here and it'll probably open a new tab, which I'll click share. So Station 1, if you click on that link, it takes you right to the Google Maps. Station 1 is right here, guys. So it's right on Buck Creek. So it actually overlooks it. So it's a really cool spot for us. It's right close to the art museum, which is where we're going to have the Bass U brunch the next morning. But when you click on it, it's just a cool, chill. Let's see, there's some photos. Yeah, you guys
will really enjoy Station 1, Drew. Yeah. It's very laid back. The outdoor patio overlooks Buck Creek, which is super cool. Great wings, great pizza. There's 40 or 50 beers on tap. And like I said, it's the kind of place where you go to play a jukebox and
just gotta be there,
have some food. But it's really very chill atmosphere. And again, close to all the other amenities. So I think you guys have a really good time there.
For sure.
Yeah, if you're fishing Mad River, you could probably go into Buck Creek and just beach your kayak.
And
literally
go right in there.
Yeah, exactly. Go grab a bite. So there you go. There's the outside area. If it's nice, I would suggest maybe we end up outside just hanging out. It's kind of it's more of a social, this Wednesday welcome dinner. So a place like this is absolutely perfect where we can just kind of walk around, mill around, and socialize instead of just being all stuck at our table. So let me go back to the other tab and we'll go see what's next. Thursday, we've got the opening ceremonies at Mother Stewart's Brewing. So I'll show that to you guys. Now tell us about Mother Stewart's, because it's really, really cool as I'm showing some pictures here.
Yeah, so Mother Stewart's is my personal favorite place to be pretty much every Friday and Saturday. It's a huge what did it used to be? It used
to be the home to Metallic Casket.
Yeah, it's got a real cool history.
Yeah.
And so they even have parts where you can kind of go back in that like brew room area, which is where we're thinking you guys would do registration at. It's a little kind of around the corner, secluded. Then you can pop right out to this whole area outside. There's fire pits. They're going to have some live music, I think, that night.
Yeah, we're going to do some live
out
music
there.
for you guys.
It's super chill. It's really, really good vibes. The whole entire structure on the inside is just really cool with the exposed beams. The beer is also very good.
Nice.
Yeah, for those of you who drink.
It's all craft beer. So they brew everything in-house. So all their taps are all of the brews that they are doing in their brew room. Stuff you can't really get anywhere else unless you find a can of it on the shelf.
Yeah, and Kevin and John Loftus, as I said, the brothers started Mother Stewart's Brewing. So Mother Stewart's is named after Mother Stewart, who was she was basically a prohibitionist. So it's kind of an ironic name. But Eliza Mother Stewart is a famous Springfield character who she was the leader of the women's temperance movement, not only in the United States, but in Europe. And so Kevin and John, when they first started, they thought it would be pretty ironic to name their brewery Mother Stewart's, and that's paid off in a lot of publicity over the years. But Kevin and John, in addition, as I said, to doing Mother Stewart's Brewing, also are responsible almost single-handedly for the creation of the whitewater runs that are in Buck Creek that come through downtown. We're one of the only places in Ohio that literally has whitewater that comes through the downtown. So those guys they worked with a lot of different people, including the Army Corps of Engineers, various different groups to remove a lot of the low head dams. And then they built in, as you can see in that picture right there, they built in these limestone drops, and they're incredible. So there's 3 different areas. That's right there.
Yeah. So what's great is this ties right into our next thing, the Bass U Brunch, the next morning after the opening ceremonies and registration. Actually, before we leave there, before I get into this, there was isn't there like a Journey cover band or something else going on right when our registration ends at 8 p.m.? There's like some sort of music happening too,
so it
right?
works out really great. So you guys have registration on the 12th, and then we had talked about like 6:30 to 8, and then we have a Summer Arts Festival, which is literally just where it says Play Park, kind of right there. Yeah, literally, you can throw a rock and hit it. There are the chairs set out. That's
there
hilarious.
We go.
Veterans Park Amphitheater. So the first night on the 12th is Griffin House. He's a local artist. His music's wonderful. He starts playing at 8. And then there's a Fleetwood Gold the following night, tribute band, a Fleetwood Mac tribute band on the 13th. And then the following night is the Journey. So you've got like 3 nights of really awesome music, completely free. People will go at like 9 o'clock in the morning and pop out their lawn chairs to like stake their claim to their territory. And they just go and sit down and enjoy the music.
Yeah, I would really encourage you guys. I mean, only because he's also a personal friend of mine, but Griffin House on the 12th. Griffin is great. He was based down in Nashville for a long time. He is a national artist, just happens to be from Springfield. And his show, I think, will really resonate with your audience. So, yeah, if you guys can get down there for even a half an hour or so.
Yeah, that is awesome. I mean, think about it. We're going to be at Station 1 already, and we will probably be wrapping up, eating. Some people will, and just can mosey right down that trail, this Buck Creek Trail, right to listen to some music for a little bit. And the beauty of, the Kayak Adventure Series, which you guys may not really, know this, or you might. We schedule all this. We do it such in a strategic way where you can partake in any of this extracurricular stuff, and it's not going to hinder your, ability on the water, because we don't have to get up early the next day. For example, for the brunch on Friday, you're not allowed to practice fish that day, so you can't be on the water, and you cannot, and there's nothing to like do early, right? You know what I mean? So just 10 o'clock is our brunch. So why not do after Thursday's registration, for example, why not go over there, listen to some music and hang out? If you're bringing the family, why not for an hour, like you said, 30 minutes or an hour, and then head home. You don't got to be up and anywhere till 10 anyway. So it makes it easy to do all this extra stuff in your community, which is what we love about it. It makes it more laid back. So, but yeah, I'm glad you pointed that. Now this is the play area, like you're saying, the play waves, whitewater. So you got that one, you got one down here. Another.
So
are
there fish in Buck Creek? Like, do people?
Oh
fish?
yeah,
I assume.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
it looks big enough.
I just always wonder like how much water it holds. I guess like it's dependent on how much they're pushing out of the lake. But
yeah, and that is accurate. So it's interesting. So in the fall, when they have timed releases that come from Buck Creek State Park from the reservoir, it becomes a hotbed of activity. I mean, we'll go to that park and play area down in Snyder Park that you just showed, Drew, and there'll be license plates from 6 different states down there. And then if we get a substantial rainfall, meaning even an inch to an inch and a half, that place melts up pretty quick. Generally, Buck Creek's pretty shallow. But but if we get just a decent rainfall, you go down there the next morning, and man, those waves are up again. So pretty interesting how they kind of engineered that whole thing.
It is. It may not have the winning fish, Jake, but there's definitely fish there. And you know what? We have a category called the micro bag.
Well, that's honestly what I was alluding.
That's what you were getting to, right? I'm sure,
because it's shell bottom. So like that instantly for me was like,
Yeah, which is the 5 smallest bass. So if you want to catch the 5 smallest, this is kind of like a little nursery where you might get some small ones. I'm sure there's some big ones in there, but maybe not as big as some other areas, but that's cool. So the beauty of this Bash U brunch being held at the Springfield Museum of Art the next morning at 10 a.m. is the fact that for the first time ever, we're going to have a chance. And I'm trying to get Jeff Little there, maybe some others who are ACA certified like myself, or just really good paddlers, to come and do a seminar, an on the water seminar for the first time ever at a Bash U brunch, on the water demonstrations of how to properly, eddy out, ferry, do things like that, run waves, even cast along current seams. And this area right here is perfect for that demonstration. You guys can all line up and sit right here on these rocks. I remember there was actually a street view on this trail. Wonder if it'll work here. Yeah, you got it's a trail view.
Trail's elevated there.
Yep. So you guys can all line up in this grass for the Bash U brunch is one of the seminars. We might do one inside as well. But tell us about that Springfield Museum of Art and the room that we might be using there inside. And we're thinking about maybe trying to find you guys some food, whether we flip pancakes on a, Blackstone like we've done before, bacon and eggs, who knows, or even get something catered. But this is like really one of the coolest and best Bash U brunch venues I've ever seen, because we got water right there for demonstrations and lures, kayaks, whatever we want to do. It's right there.
Yeah, Springfield Museum of Art is really incredible. It is the only Smithsonian affiliate art museum in the state of Ohio. Mm-hmm. That means that they can host traveling exhibitions that you would see at the Smithsonian. We've had Ansel Adams exhibitions, we've had NASA exhibitions, things that honestly you're just not going to see anywhere else in the state because they just don't have that accreditation. So they also have an amazing permanent collection right now. I would encourage you guys, if you got just a few minutes to go through the gallery, through the main gallery, they have an exhibition right now of Amina Robinson, a Columbus-based artist. And this is the first stop on a national tour for the Amina Robinson collection. So if you guys have just a couple minutes to peek inside, I think you'll really dig that. And the indoor venue there, so they just recently finished about a $6 million renovation to build the big event center right where you're pinpointed there, where it says Springfield Museum of Art. Mm-hmm. So large indoor space, full AV facilities in there. So if we want to do something in there and hit some projector screens, we can get in there. Yeah, that's the main gallery. Yeah, it is an amazing museum for a city of our size. I mean, we're pretty blessed with arts and culture here. I mean, we have a symphony, we have a museum of art, Heritage Center Museum, which I would put up against any historical museum in the country. So yeah, a lot of great things that if you're traveling with your family, we got plenty of things for you to check out here.
Cool. That's amazing, because that's what I was going to say. I mean, we've already talked about so many cool things for the family to do while the anglers are here on this trip. Plenty of stuff for the family to do if they want to bring them. So that's cool. The what's next on our list here? Let's see. I'm excited about that. I'm trying to get some other cool guests as well to speak.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there a Frank Lloyd Wright house in Springfield? Like one of the one that's like kind of got like the Japanese architecture.
Wow, look at Jake.
I know.
Look at Jake. I don't know about Springfield. Yeah, good job. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so the Frank Lloyd Wright Westcott House is really one of our best cultural gems here. And Jake, to your point, yeah, it was really the first time that you saw the influence of Japanese design on Frank Lloyd Wright. So you see the canopy.
There it is.
Front.
There it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's so all very horizontal. Everything's very horizontal and low to the ground, including even the brickwork inside. Mm-hmm. And this is where you really first see that influence. And it's really still one of his best examples of that style of architecture. Yeah. And it's funny, we've always said this. I mean, you figure that house was built around 1908, took a couple years to build. Wow. But when you look around the neighborhood, that thing had to look like a spaceship landing. Yeah. I mean, it was little. I mean, you're in there's these Italianate mansions, Richardsonian Romanesque mansions, French Renaissance style, and then you've got this thing. And there was a fairly large amount of pushback on having Frank Lloyd Wright come into Springfield and upset the balance of that neighborhood. Now, obviously, 100 years in advance, we know it's great. But yeah, at the time, there are newspaper articles, that at the time were not very friendly to the Westcott family bringing in Frank Lloyd Wright.
Wow. Yeah, Jake, coming in hot there with some good info.
Hey, we got to do more than just fish there, right?
Yeah. Well, we have another really cool kind of like quirky place. It's called the Hartman Rock Garden. I highly recommend it. It's a self-guided tour. It is a very quirky, unique. You will not find it anywhere else.
What is it called? I got to look this up. Rock garden.
Hartman. It's not what you will imagine it to be, like, a rock garden. It will blow your mind.
Whoa.
Yeah.
This is unreal. So, yeah, my wife's going to love this.
Yeah.
Well,
so it's one of the great roadside attractions in America. It's also one of the 3 or 4 best what are called in situ folk art sites, meaning it exists, in the place where it was built. It was literally built in a backyard by a man named Ben Hartman during the Depression. He was a laborer, skilled laborer who was laid off from his job, like many people were. He started out to build a koi pond, and then 300,000 stones later, and years later, he's built an entire world in his backyard, basically. And yeah, there are great tours available for Hartman, but it is free. It's open dawn to dusk every day. Great stop, and it sits right in a residential neighborhood just south of downtown.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's just so quirky, and like it's one of those things you have to see.
And kids love it because a lot of the stuff is built, as you can kind of see, to kids scale.
Yeah.
Like, when we were young, we went there on school tours, and we loved it because we were little kids, and everything was kind of down on your scale,
right?
And it spoke to you kind of as a little kid. So yeah, I would encourage families to hit that, and then you're just you're only 10 minutes down the road to Young's Jersey Dairy, which is everything from ice cream to petting zoo to driving range, batting cages. Yeah, you got pretty much everything at Young's Jersey Dairy, which is
really good ice cream.
Yeah, one of the. It's the top most visited place in Southwest Ohio for tourists. So yeah.
Young's Jersey's Dairy. That's amazing. You guys have so much cool stuff going on. I cannot wait. My kids are going to love it. The next thing on our itinerary here is on tournament day Saturday. We return back after the anglers fish. They return back to our closing ceremony festival, which is right across the street from the theater, and that's at this Cohatch Springfield place. So Cohatch, it's like a market basically, right? I mean, it's what it is.
It's also known as Myers Market, and so kind of envision while there is some co-working space, we really treat it, and everyone else does, as more of a food hall. Right. So there's 6 or 7 restaurant concepts right inside there. Plenty of seating. We will have the brick alley, which is right next to it, and again, just for your visitors' knowledge. So that morning in Market Alley, right next to Cohatch, we will have our farmers market. So our farmers market runs 9 until 12:30 in the morning, and it's going to be in the alley right next to Cohatch.
North Marketplace Alley. So it's kind of in the shade here in our satellite imagery, but this whole alley will have a market that morning. I love it.
And that's a pedestrian walking area, so it's going to be blocked off. So when you guys come back from fishing, we're going to have that blocked off. We're going to have some games out there. We'll have cornhole and a few different things out there. Have some area if any of your sponsors want to set up. So you guys can kind of chill out there. You've got everything from Mexican to pizza to chicken and waffles and sushi inside.
Boba, coffee.
Yeah. So that's all at Cohatch the market. And then you're going to skip right across that parking lot that Drew's kind of moving up on.
The theater,
Yeah, that's going to take you right to State Theater.
So perfect. So we'll just go there, and you guys, so that everyone can park right here in between the two, it looks like, right?
Absolutely.
That's perfect. So nice parking there. And then State Theater is where we'll be at. That the festival would kind of wind it down around 5:30, let people get their last food and drinks and walk over to the theater. Starting around 6. Usually we try to get started 6:15 for the awards. But yeah, this is State Theater's really impressed me. This place, explain a little bit about what it is, because it's not just a normal theater. It was kind of renovated and turned into some sort of like bar. Is that right? Basically?
Yeah. So State Theater was, the theater, the downtown theater of our childhood. I saw, almost every movie there as a kid. Then, like a lot of downtown theaters, as you had sort of migration out into the suburbs, and you had malls start to come into vogue, and, we had theaters then out at the mall. State Theater closed down. It sat vacant for a number of years, until a local group of investors, and that's the greatest part of the story, decided to step in and buy it and do extensive renovation to the State Theater, starting from literally the top, starting from the roof and going to the basement, all the way underground into the plumbing in the street. So now it is, it's an event venue. They still will do films in there. You can see there's a film screen still. They have high-tech AV equipment in there. So we'll be able to show any kind of highlights you guys want to pump up to the screen there, anything that maybe your influencers have gathered during the week.
Yeah.
Rod Hatfield, who is one of the principals there, is super excited to put some of that stuff up on the screen. So, but what they've done is they turn it into an event center. They built a large-scale bar. There's kind of 3 tiers. You can see the seating, some of the seating there.
I love it.
So you're saying people can buy drinks during the awards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, and they also do really high level like mixology cocktails. They have a super skilled bartending staff that does like craft cocktails
There you
there. Yeah, so amazing space. And then we're also going to we're going to try to bring in some live music for later that night that would start. So immediately when you guys wrap, we'll have some live music there too.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to hang out, we're going to have, at least one band, if not maybe two, that'll play at State Theater that night as well.
So yeah, so basically I guess we'll stop sharing that tab. So we're actually going to change that. It says closing ceremonies after party, Mother Stewart's. We're going to actually change it on the website. We got to change it. We're just going to stay right there. At
you absolutely
right
can.
there. So we'll make that change on the website, but this just looks incredible. Let me get back to where I can see you guys a little bit better here. All right, there we go. I've been looking at my screen the whole time instead of you guys. It always seems awkward, but hopefully didn't have a dumb blank look on my face. I can't believe that this is like so perfect for what my vision was for the Kayak Adventure Series, a city that's got all of exactly what we all walked through here today. It just looks perfect.
Food that isn't closed at 8:30
Yeah.
in the evening. That's always a plus.
Exactly. Yeah. Some towns a little smaller. Yeah. They close things up early, but Springfield's the right size town, I believe, and community where you can get in the outdoors so quick and easy. It's not too big, but yet you have all the modern day amenities you ever really need. You know what I mean? Without having to drive an hour and a half or 2 hours to some like big city.
No.
It's
from
perfect.
Downtown to Buck Creek State Park is like maybe call it 16 minutes if you drive slow.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the fame in Springfield. Wherever you're at, it takes 7 to 15 minutes to get anywhere that you need to go. So it makes it really accessible.
Well, I think the great thing too, just for your group, is that, obviously, for selfish reasons, we want you guys to all stay in Springfield because we want you to experience everything here. But the good thing is, one, we're easy to get to, number one, but we're also easy to get almost anywhere else from Springfield. You're a half an hour to the Dayton area, you're 40 minutes ish to the Columbus area. You're gonna be able to get anywhere pretty quickly from Springfield because again, you're not dealing with traffic around us. You're not dealing with outer belts that you have to navigate. You know what I mean? It's like you're going to go jump on 70 in 5 minutes, and you're going to go any direction you want to go. So, we would certainly encourage you guys to stay here because we do have a lot for you to experience here. And again, if you're bringing spouses, if you're bringing family, we're also going to make sure that they know of a lot of things to do. We would certainly encourage you guys to go to our website, which is visitgreaterspringfield.com. And then, you can start to plan some things there. We'll obviously have print visitor guides available. We'll have all that stuff for you. We'll give you some restaurant tips because, as we always say, Texas Roadhouse and Olive Garden are great, but everyone has a Texas Roadhouse and an Olive Garden. So let's get you to Hi Hat Social and Speakeasy Ramen, and let's get you to Casa Central. Stella Blue. Let's get you to some local places that we think you'll enjoy.
Charlo's best black bean burger you will ever eat is at
Very
Charlo's.
good.
It's
Perfect.
Jake, that's Jake's alley right there.
Out of this world.
Well, we'll let you go in the note. I will try to share your website here because you guys have done a great job with it. I will say that it looks amazing. You got a cool video that just plays in the background, and it's amazing. So everything that you would need for the family, I would definitely encourage you guys to go check that out. And definitely, this is one event where it's in the summer, so the kids are out of school. It's easier to bring the family to this one, and there's plenty for them to do. So let's face it, you're not going to like be in your way or anything when you're trying to do all your practice fishing and whatnot. Like, what do we do? Dad or mom or whatever. So there's plenty to do for them. And you can be on the water figuring the fish out, and of course still spending time with them when you're off the water. So I'm excited about it.
For sure.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. And then also just the fact that you can get around easily when you got trailers. Kayak anglers have these trailers, and it's nice to hear everything's so quick, easy, and simple, and you're not going to be stuck in a bunch of big metropolis traffic or anything. So this is perfect. Super excited about it. And I know Jake is too, especially hearing how easy this theater is going to be on us, because every theater is different with our audio and video. And
it's great.
Yeah, it's close to you. Yeah, you're not too far away over there. So
they're plug and play, man. You're going to be able just to show up, and they're going to be able to dial up anything you guys need, in that way.
But do they have internet? That's the real question.
Yeah, they're good.
Good.
The last menu was like,
That's right.
oh yeah, our internet doesn't work outside the lobby, and I was just like, this isn't.
Yeah,
good.
that could be a problem.
Yeah, when you're trying to live stream the awards, it's definitely.
But they waited till the last second to tell us too. It's like,
whoops.
Well, we'll
you
get it
won't have
taken
any
care of.
problems with these guys. If anything, they will massively over deliver on tech.
Yes, they will.
Perfect. That's what
Awesome.
I like.
Well, we hope that Ohio, shows out and over delivers, and everyone else around the country shows up as well, and we can make this one of our biggest events yet. Which we're still young and in the grand scheme of things. So every event, we're just kind of gradually getting more momentum and kind of growing. So we'll see if this could be the biggest one yet. We appreciate you guys and all your support, and you guys have a great weekend, and we'll catch you guys later.
Yeah,
Thanks.
we look forward to seeing y'all.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
All right, see ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.